Let's make sure we've got this all set up the proper way. All right. I always give it a few minutes, folks, to get the batteries, up and running. If you start too soon, it cuts off your intro. It's good to see you all out there. I'm sorry I didn't make my last stream. What happened is I run my entire channel on the device that I'm filming myself on, which is an iPad Pro. It's a 2020. It was brand new when I started the channel. And it started freezing up on me. I could not access and get the list that I needed to work on at that time. And then all kinds of boffins started occurring. And so I had to cancel uh, the stream for Sunday night, folks. And I'm sorry. I always try to be as consistent as I possibly can with that. And that we may suffer tonight. I don't know. Maybe a lot of people got my notification and said that, you know, hell with this, the guy might show up, maybe, and that's not the the portrayal of the channel I want at all. I did make an announcement on my um the notifications area where you see my what do you call it, the post section, but not everybody always gets those for some reason. And so if you were confused, I'm sorry. But I've got those notes transferred, and I don't know if we'll get to them tonight. Maybe it depends how this stream goes. For those of you who are just clicking on and wondering what the hell is this that you're watching, I'm Michael Noland. Tonight is the Tribal Forum number 60. Now, what the hell is a Tribal Forum? Well, the name of the channel is Michael Noland, the bottom line. And basically, I always give you my bottom line. I'm an opinionator, folks. Rock's first opinionator, right? And then you guys take over from there. Sometimes you agree with me. I can get a tribal consensus on some of the things I talk about. Sometimes you guys in mass disagree with me. And that's what this is all about. The tribal forum is so that we can talk in the here and now. All right. And all my other videos are either pre recorded or bits and pieces off of these streams. If I see a good 5 to 10 minute section in the stream, sometimes I'll release that. And it's amazing because we'll get a whole different group of people watching it. And it kind of brings attention over to the streaming aspect of my channel or the tribal forum. Now, why is it called a tribal forum? Well, welcome to the tribe if you're brand new. The tribe is a group of people from all over the world. We've already discussed just how much so many of you are from different countries and everything. We consist of people who are left wingers, right wingers, people in the middle, right? Politically, we consist of people who believe in God, don't believe in God, are Christian or another religion, right? But we put all that aside when we come here because here we want to talk about classic rock. That's the whole gig of my channel. Now, I did make a statement on I always review my streams, folks. And I noticed that I had said that classic rock existed for 50 years. And that's because in my head, I always think, well, rock and roll existed for 50 years, solid. But classic rock, I don't consider a lot of the 50s music and even a whole lot of the early 60s music as classic rock. I gave my reasonings on what year that began. So, a course correction here. By my own estimates, classic rock ruled the airwaves for 40 of the 50 years and 45 or 55 of years of the 20th century biting into the 21st century, according to a lot of experts. I don't agree with them. I think it died before 2010, and it died somewhere around 2005, or it certainly did for me. And by what I could see, that was being offered by a lot of artists. That's when, well, we'll talk about that in a minute because we're going to be talking about tonight rockers who haven't released an album in over 10 years. And we're also going to be talking about uh, rockers who have. Okay, so it's not all bad news, but it's shocking. Yeah, this is a group of 20 rockers, bands that have been touring for the most part. I think all of them have. I'll go over the list here in a minute. And yet they haven't released a new album with new material in 10 or more years. And we'll keep track of each artist tonight when I go over that. Now, I do have an announcement, a tribal announcement. I don't know if she's even in tonight. She was in very early. But Agent Pepsi 1 was in very early. And all I can say, folks, there's a new marshal in town. Okay. I went ahead and deputized Agent Pepsi. Oh my goodness. I saw that at the same time you did. Yeah, White Monkey came in. The voice, if you're a newcomer here in the background, is my wife. And she's the person you see as Kimberly Noland, right? And you can see she's duly deputized and everything. She's the producer of this show. And she is my connection to you because usually when I get up here, see, this is what's different about my stream is I have a prepared content that I'd like to go through kind of like I do in my regular videos, as much as you can live, right? And so she's my tether to you folks going, because often it's very, I'll be on for a minute before I can get to some of your comments, right? So, but if anything major is going on, she'll let me know. And I couldn't do this stream without her. Thank you, darling. She wasn't feeling real. She's not ill or anything, but you have your gravity days, and yeah, she's there in the trenches, and I appreciate your efforts, darling. Let's take a look at this. Oh my goodness, a $5 super thanks. I haven't even got to shouting out those who gave us in the last stream, brother. White Monkey, you know, I love this. The channel no one subscribes to. Indeed, that can't be true, folks. We got to help this brother out. Yeah, the channel that nobody, I sub to him, you sub to him. My goodness. Anyway, he gave us the $5 super thanks. He says, Summer breeze makes me feel fine, blowing through the jasmine in my mind. What's up, Michael? He says, not much. Monkey? White monkey to you, Michael. Okay, white monkey, don't get your tether in a tizzy. Okay, but thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Yeah, things are going good. Things are going good. I did a lot of the writing behind this. Writing. Here's my writing. I write down some notes with a sentence or two. Two sentences is kind of a long note, just to kind of focus my mind on what I've prepared. Right. But when I was writing this up, and that's why I was a few minutes, getting up here late. When I was writing this up, folks, um, I started seeing the complexion of the stream kind of turning with a back project that I've been working on. And so I did want to say that tonight we're going to be unveiling for the first time. This is a freaking premiere. How many people do we have here? 35? And I'm not going to unveil it just yet, so we may grow even a little bit more. But yeah, let's see. I'm going to unveil the 21st Century Unholy 10 of classic rock. Now, what the hell is that? Just wait. It's coming. It's coming, brother. All right. So, Agent Pepsi, If you're out there or you get in there, you get in late, be on the lookout for trolls. We do get them occasionally, folks. And so, all those folks with wrenches, I've said this before, those aren't wrenches, those are badges. They are tribal marshals. And we try to keep the discussion of the stream to classic rock and everything, and hateful kind of comments and attacks uh, because you have nothing better to do but wake up in the morning and go, let's see, is Michael streaming today? Good Lord, get a life. But be on the lookout for them. They usually come out when certain channels do streaming, and so I'm always on high alert for that. Channel still growing, 46. We just got it on the last one, my last stream. 46.1. We're about halfway through to get to 46.2. We're still growing, but I'm getting a whole lot of folks saying, that they've either been unsubscribed or that they have been their notifications have been turned off. I've even been getting notifications from you guys saying that my notifications aren't turned off. I'm still subscribed, but I'll be damned if I'm ever notified of your live streams, especially, right? So that's why I was so apologetic when I got up here saying, I'm so sorry that I missed my Sunday stream, is because I tried to provide you with a consistent schedule. And my consistent schedule is right now, uh, Sundays at 5 p.m. That's Pacific Standard Time, so adjust your own local times accordingly. I always say that. And on Wednesdays, again at 5 o'clock PST, Pacific Standard Time. So for a lot of you, just kind of keep that in your head. If you're not getting notifications, others are saying, I get it in the notifications, but I don't look at my notifications. Most of them come on to my home screen, and you're not on the home screen, right? So, and we've talked about that. There's no need to talk about what we're dealing with as a channel about that. It's in other streams. Just know that we're contending with some adversarial forces in the universe, folks. And so I'll always, spend a little bit of time as I'm kind of warming up here, bringing that subject up. Now, in my last stream, I didn't get a chance to do this, and it was late, me getting it up for this stream. But if you click on the title of this stream, you'll see the tribal store, and we have mugs. All right. And we are working on t-shirts, folks. My wife is bugging the hell out of me because she knows a lot of you want t-shirts, and that's a whole different thing with this design. But what we have here, this is the newest design, and I'm sorry this is backwards. That's another thing we're working on. I'm on a very basic platform, and it was fine, but starting on my second stream, it flipped the image, right? But that says, we are the tribe. That's our tribal mantra, right? And on the other side, you get the channel picture as well as Michael Noland, the bottom line. All right. And then but if you click on that, you can also scroll down and you have, three choices. And you have this mug. This is the original tribal mug. I love this thing. We were going to discontinue it, but it is just so spot on. Look at that. All those fine folks, nondescript, different sexes, different skin colors. You can bet your ass, right? And yet they come from all over the world declaring, we are the tribe. And of course, it also has my mug on the back of the mug there. And then there's a third. Oh, and by the way, this mug you can also get. Do not order this in black. Obvious reasoning. This disappears. All this stuff disappears. And the only thing showing up is my picture. All of this disappears. I can't get it off black, but do not order the black mug. But you can also get this. I don't remember what it's called. What was it? Pastel blue? Yeah. And I know a couple of you have ordered those already, the pastel blue. Otherwise, it's white. The original, the first mug I showed you is available in white. And then this was a transitionary uh, mug. And the more I looked at it, I thought I didn't want the band around it. But some people may prefer that design. I don't know how long this one's going to be in the store, but the reason that this one is for a T-shirt transfer that I was working on. All right, so that's one way to support the channel. Plus, you get something back, right? And we're doing great. And the reason we're offering that is so many of you were asking for tribal merchandise, and more is coming in the future. All right. I did want to give a shout out to those who gave us a super thanks on our last stream. I always do this. This is a matter of fact. I think I've already shouted out these guys in regular video form, but I also go back one stream and give them a final thank you for supporting the channel. Of course, I'm talking about Just the Facts Man, brother channel to this channel. Dan McNew is a good friend of mine that I met through Royce, who is the brother channel to this channel, Royce in the house. And he came in with a $10 super thanks. Thank you so much, Dan. Thomas Koch with a $2 super thanks. We always call that the power of two, right? And you'd be surprised how quickly those mount up if you want to support the channel. But, I don't have a ton of money. What? $2 will do it. We've also got Stephen Fox in with a $5 super thanks. Richie C. It was so good to see him back in the comments with a $10 super thanks. And his full handle is Richie C59. Michael Boswell in with a $5 super thanks. Michael Boswell followed that up with a power of two, a $2 super thanks. Deuces Wild gave us a $5 super thanks, and he followed that up with a $2 super thanks. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And one of Michael's, his $2 super thanks, I didn't see when reviewing the stream that I read your comment, but just in case I didn't, I'm not sure if I did or not. But Michael, with his $2 super thanks, said, "Hail, hail, rock and roll." Certainly. And you know what? We're going to be talking about that. We want rock and roll to be something that we can say that. Hail, hail, rock and roll, right? We don't want to be observing something and have to pretend that they've got clothes on when they're butt ass naked, right? We want to be proud and we want to protect the legacy of rock and roll, or many of us do. Some of you don't give a damn either way. You're very pragmatic about it. And I appreciate you listening to me yammer on about that, my concerns and everything. But I also wanted to read a couple of the early comments just before I got on. Michael had these loaded up early this morning. He says Creedence Clearwater Revival kept releasing 2 albums a year until the pressure overwhelmed them and the band split up due to eternal conflicts. Maybe a slowdown would have helped them to continue. Right? I agree. Yeah, 2 albums. The Beatles were doing the same thing, Doc. And it was absolutely stressful, wasn't it? I mean, for them to put out that kind of content. I see it. I was already coming over here. Oh my goodness. Deuce is Wild in with a $20 super thanks. Thank you so much, Deuce. Yes, he is. Yes, he is. I'll give you a thumbs up. I can't give a heart. I've already explained why I can't give hearts to these because of the way we're set up. And I'd have to be on my major account, and I'm streaming right now from my major account right there, right? And so this screen's being used for that, so I can't heart it up. I'm so sorry, Deuce. He says, uh, if you're a legacy band, we expect new quality music from that band. Okay, you see, it's a different color. It doesn't leap out at me. I'm going blind, baby. Uh, okay, so I'm going to read this from the get go. If you're a legacy band, we expect new quality music from that band at least periodically. Okay, good, good. Listening to bands that don't is like picking. I love this. Is like picking one cereal for the rest of your life and eating just that, then you're not hungry ever. Yeah, I dig it. I dig that. As a matter of fact, let me see where I am here in my notes. Yeah, I wanted to talk about, we'll get to the unholy 10 of rock here in a minute. But yeah, Doc, in some of his comments, said that there are bands that do put out new product all the time. Oh my goodness, I see another one. Oh my goodness. Stephen Fox. Hey, brother. Fox. Oh, $5. I appreciate it, Stephen. So good to have you back. Thank you, Stephen. It is good to be back. Putting out powerful hippie vibes and prayers for our friend Tim. Yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. I sent a note over to his channel, but I hear he's still in the hospital. I'll leave what's going on with Tim up to Tim to fully explain. He's facing surgery. He was facing surgery. He's gone through that, and so he's in recovery and everything. So absolutely, prayers to Tim Henry of Music Life, and go over to his channel. He's setting up. He set up his new YouTube studio to produce his own videos. I think even streaming and everything uh, prior to his surgery, so that he would be able to continue to be active after his surgery. Praises, praises, Tim. Wonderful, wonderful job, right? And thank you for bringing that up, Stephen. I'm glad you did. Okay, so I was talking about there are bands that are still producing, classic rock bands from way yonder back that are still producing music. I've brought up many of those albums in the past. Some of them I actually have. So there is an audience out there, and I know others that have these albums, but we can't really say the Rolling Stones anymore. That Rolling Stones would have been on this list a couple of years ago. But they came out with Hackney Diamonds again. I apologize for the backwards image here. Go ahead and go back to my intro, and I kind of explain why that's happening. But I bought that one, right? I was interested in that music. I was interested in Alice Cooper's Road album, bought that one, right? Wonderful album. Uh, but I was even more interested in the Alice Cooper Band's new album. Bought that one, right? I bought Deep Purple's new album called Equals One. I think it's fantastic, right? And I bought Yes's uh, semi new album from 2023, right? Mirror to the Sky. And I have also bought John Anderson's new album right there. John Anderson's and the Band Geeks Truth, right? So, and those are just albums, 6 albums that I picked up out of my record collection, a small record collection, right? And you can bet I'm getting a lot of classic albums that I had back in the day, yet I'm still managing to buy new music. I think new music is an identifier of a rock artist. And if you don't have it, just drop the freaking artist portion and just call them a rocker because that's all they are. No matter how good they are live, no matter how good the show is, if that's all they're doing, then they cease to become an artist. And I've always been interested in rock artists, right? Okay, let's see. That gets me to, before we get into this main article I had prepared today, that gets me into uh, the unholy 10 of classic rock. Now, I'm calling it that because uh, it's that's what came to me while I was making this list, and I'm going to adhere to this list. This is uh, the anti version of the uh, Ten Commandments of classic rock to me. This is everything that shouldn't exist in classic rock in the 21st century. All right, so keep that in mind as I go down these lists. These are things that have always bothered me. These are things that I have um, talked about on my channel time and time again, but I wanted an official list that I could occasionally go over. And it may modify slightly here. But the more I look at this list, I go, well, this fits right into what you're talking about tonight, Michael. That's right. I occasionally talk to myself, which I answered, well, yeah, let's go ahead and put that in. And then I have a tug of war with myself and I put them in my notes. Goes that way sometimes, folks. Stop that. Anyway, number one, here it is, the uh, Unholy 10 of classic rock, the 21st century Unholy 10 of classic rock. These are the 10 things I think that are killing classic rock. All right. First of all, the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame needs to be abolished. It's been taken over by fakes and frauds. Okay, and I've done many videos on it, and it's time to just deconstruct the whole damn thing and start all over. It's been harmed so badly at this point, right? Now I have no trouble with hip hop and rap artists getting due notice uh, within their own subgenre of music's hall of fames and everything like that. But what happened, in my opinion, is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame started seeing the decline of rock as far as what it was selling, and they started nuzzling up to those who were selling, which often was rap and hip hop artists. And ever since, once a year, they come out with a new statement that slightly redefines rock and roll. The whole thing just needs to be torn down. All right. It has been scarred beyond recognition. Unless they retroactively took out some of these nominations, that would be the only way to fix it. And that's never going to happen. Number two on this unholy list, lip syncing and using backing tracks, which is kind of the same thing. Except that when I refer to backing tracks, I'm usually talking about actual musicians, drummers who aren't actually playing their instruments, or they're not being mic'd up, and it is the backing drums that are being mic'd up, or it's a recording of the lead guitar solo. Often you'll see the guitars moving around so much you can't really tell them, turning around and everything else. Dead set against that. That's not live music, okay? And live music needs to be live. All right. You should get a live performance, no matter how good or bad it is, because it needs to have integrity and needs to be music, needs to be presented honestly, right? They think the rest of us are a bunch of schmucks and that we're just going to give in to AI, which didn't make it on this list, which will, because I will be uh, um, adding that later on and combining a couple of these two. Number three, high cost of concert tickets, and of course that whole thing I've covered many times, where you've got Ticketmaster and Live Nation, and there are other baddies, but those are the top two that come to mind. Greedy ass classic rockers who set such a high amount that they want to make to begin with, and a ticket master that's bound and determined to make what they're going to make. And it leaves original fans often in the dust. And the only ones that can afford those tickets are those that are at the prime of their working life, right? Their professional life. And they're actually making top dollar and might actually consider to pay those exorbitant prices. But things have changed, and when finances change, when the economy changes, people get a little more real. If there's a bright spot to this whole uh, economy that we've been fighting, it would be that. I do see some tickets becoming more reasonable, but not with the biggies yet. You know, McCartney right now is being criticized heavily for the amount he's charging. This is already after the last time he was here in the States when there was tons of complaining about what he was charging. But this time, people are deciding to stay away. Number four, rockers who don't offer new material, which is going to be the bulk of what we're going to be talking about tonight. All right. So I'll just leave it at that. Number five, bands who tour with few or no original members. This is the homogenation of classic rock, in my opinion. This is the beginning of rock and roll bands becoming brands. That's not what I was interested in them. I was interested in bands and their actual members and what each member contributed to that band, and a bunch of imposters on stage, foreigner, right? Doesn't do it for me. And it's not real, but it's amazing how many of those bands continue to sell because the soft soap selling job has been going on for 20 to 30 years, folks. All right. When corporations got in there, all right, things started changing. I'm also against avatar shows. This goes right along with bands that brand. So I may put avatar shows in there right along with bands and then put AI here. All right, because we're going to be talking a lot about AI. It's been a while since we've talked about AI, but we have here on the Tribal Forum in the past. Number seven, political preaching at paying venues. All right. That's when it becomes preaching for me. All right. You've got a lot of bands out there and artists who have audiences that would love to see them, but they don't believe in their politics and they'd appreciate it if they just shut their damn mouths at paying venues. Now, I'm not against rockers saying their piece if they're being interviewed, right? That's a whole different thing. But I think it isolates half of the audience, a significant amount of the audience, and it's turning people off from going to live venues. Right. Number eight, residencies. Enough said. No, I've done a lot. It's been a while since we've talked about residencies. There's several residencies at that horrid little town called Las Vegas being set up right now. Motley Crue is contemplating one. Who else was it that I was looking at? Oh, yeah. Joe Perry talking about now it's a matter of Steven Tyler not wanting to tour. It's not his voice anymore in this latest interview he gave. And he said, he asked Tyler about that, and Tyler said, "I'm done with that. You know, I, I want to live life." So has Pete Townsend in a recent interview said this. I've only got so much time on this planet left to live, and it's not going to be maintaining Aerrol Smith being at number one. And you kind of got to start wondering, was the whole throat surgery thing kind of blown out of proportion to cover why they didn't do that tour? And was it even closer that Steven Tyler is just absolutely done with touring? Everybody's got a shelf life. I've said it a million times. All of us do, you know. And he's saying, I kind of want to spend time with my family and everything. And so then they started talking about a final show. And Joe Perry even said, well, even that is uh, not something we're looking to do despite all the rumors, right? So, but they're hoping to do a residency. You know, they're trying to connect a residency with this. Would Steven be okay if he could just sit And I've told you before, that's the problem with residencies. You know, it's like an old person's home, right? And you sit in the room they provide for you, a very nice room. You do a little gambling, go out and play some golfing in the day, and then you hit the show. Go back to your room, a very nice room, by the way. Did I mention that? And you have exquisite foods and everything else. And then you next night you go back to the show. It's so easy for them to do that kind of thing. Do you hear anything in that itinerary that hints at spending time writing new material? Because they don't do that. Back in the day, John Lennon, Paul McCartney wrote eyeball to eyeball in the freaking hotel room they were at. Page and Plant would do the same freaking thing, and when it got too hectic, they go out into the woods in a cabin somewhere and write a whole new mess of stuff for Led Zeppelin to record, right? Uh, these are artists, folks. These are artists. Number nine, rockers who just don't have it anymore. And this is connected to number 10. Uh, what am I talking about? People who have lost their voices, people who can't play. If they're a guitar player and they can't play their wonderful solos that we did, you kind of got to ask yourself, why are they out touring other than the fact that they are a famous name from the past? And everybody thinks that, well, this is my last time. People have been thinking this is my last time to see a lot of these artists for the last 20 years. Okay. So many of you have gotten to see a lot of these artists for the very last time. What, about 10 times now? Right. And then finally, number 10, and this could connect. Like I said, this is a working list with what I'm talking about. But certainly what I was talking about creates number 10, and that is the bottlenecking of new talent. All these old dinosaurs up there gobbling up all the tension, making the big bucks, while new vital talent is finding it hard to even open up for a second rate act these days. Okay. And it's gotten to that point. So keep all of that in mind as we go on into tonight's stream, where we're going to talk about specifically 20 artists. Let me make sure this isn't too bright. It's not too bad, right? Yeah, okay, we'll calm it down here just a touch. All right. 20 artists who haven't released an album in over 10 years. All right. Now, this is an article that was written in 2022. Okay. So a lot of these, it's still the same. Uh, um, 20 rock stars haven't released an album over 20 years. Motley Crue, Saints of Los Angeles, that was released, excuse me, in 2008. Okay. So it's been, and they have this counter going on in this, uh, um, what do you call it? This article. I love it. It's been 17 years and 1 month and 21 days since we've seen that from 17 years. My God, 2008, that seems like yesterday sometimes to me. And I think that's what happens. A lot of their core audiences just, uh, you know, life goes by so fast for a lot of older folks. It doesn't get slower. It's like a roller coaster ride at the end. Pete Townsend, he put out his Psycho Derelict album. I'm not familiar with this album. I haven't bought any of his solo albums since the 80s when he released a lot of demos. It was a double album of his demos. Some of them were Who songs, some weren't. Some were from his solo albums. I think that was the last one I bought from him. But he released that in 1993. So it's been 32 years, 1 month, and 30 days at the time of that. So add a couple of years, right? Aerrol Smith, Music from Another Dimension, 2012. I don't think they've done anything after this, right? And that was the last time. What did they say about this? Following the string of wildly successful albums that helped revitalize the legendary Boston group in the late 80s, through the 90s, new Aerrol Smith music has become a rarity in the 21st century. It's been more than a decade since the band released Music from Another Dimension, its 15th LP. I never bought it, folks. Last one was the Pink album for me. And then Honkin' with Bobo was in that. Whichever one of those two came last was the last one for me. Um, I just, well, Steven Tyler had become too Hollywood for me. I kind of lost a little interest in the band at that point, right? Okay. It, yeah.
Stormcop said that Def Leppard released Diamond Star Halos in 2022.
Yes, they did. And I haven't gotten it yet, but I want to. Yeah, good point, James. It's good to see you in there. I saw you just as I was getting up, so it was real good to see you in the comments. Longtime Patreon to this channel, big time supporter to this channel. And you're right, I did a video on Halos. I loved it. I loved it. Big thumbs up. So there's another good example. Albums I didn't show that I loved: Rock Flow by Jethro Tull. Right, just haven't gotten it yet. That's all. What else? Midnight Rose by Paul Rogers. I haven't gotten. There's two by Tears for Fears that I want to get. Right, they're out making new music. So just the ones that I was showing you guys here. Aren't the aren't the only um, albums that I'm interested in getting. Like I said, I just spit when I can. Okay, got a couple of bucks, I can get a new album. Right, that's kind of how I approach it. I'm not trying to reach any major numbers or got to get this one now or anything. There's a few I like to get now. Like I've got Ozzy Osbourne's Patient Number 9 on order. It's coming on the 22nd. I'll unveil it here, probably right on the stream. And it's a double LP, so 45 RPMs. I'm not crazy about that, but it's the clear vinyl version, and you also get a disc cover, for your turntable. And the reason I did that, I don't usually just buy, clear vinyl. I have in the past for the right album. I have a clear vinyl version of Led Zeppelin 4. Had to get that, right. Uh, a very fancy Led Zeppelin or Pink Floyd, Dark Side of the Moon. There's key albums that if there's a deluxe version of it, kind of would like to get it. But with Ozzy, this was his send-off album, like it or not, folks. Now, it won't be the last album by Ozzy. I'm sure he's got stuff that never quite made an album that they'll punch up. Maybe stuff he was even working on in the last couple of years when they couldn't get him tied down because of his condition. We don't know. We don't know. But there's more, I'm sure. But absolutely for sure, this is his final album as far as him being alive and making decisions about what he, Ozzy, would allow to be offered. From this point on, decisions will be made by his estate. And sometimes estates do a good job, sometimes they don't. I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what Sharon and the kids decide to release and who's representing all of this and everything else, right? But we'll be getting more, I'm sure.
Oh my
But
goodness.
this will always be his last
White
album.
Monkey came in with
Oh
another.
my goodness, he's active tonight.
Thank you so much, White Monkey.
Let me get on over there.
Thank you.
I didn't want to go to Messenger. See, I'm all befuddled. There you are.
Thank you.
Come on. So White Monkey is in?
Yes.
Do you say?
He's been in.
Well, this damn thing doesn't want to behave. I use my wife's iPad as my notes and keeping track of all you guys, right? And it's haunted. It really is. It's haunted, and it's got it in for me. White Monkey in with another $5 super thanks. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Tool has released 5 albums in 32 years, but every one of them is great, in my opinion. I bought their the Blacker album. I'm trying to remember Was that just called? Anyway, I loved it, played the hell out of it, and then lost touch with them. I've been saying I want to get back into Tool because that first album that I got anyway, it's not necessarily their first album. First one I was aware of. Wow, I thought I was there, and then life happened, and for whatever reason, I didn't follow them from that point. And you would think I would have because I have nothing but great things to say. You know the album I'm talking about. Give us the title. Let everybody know. And I've got to do some research on Tool. So thanks for that reminder, White Monkey. I appreciate it. Blondie? Okay, let's see. So, getting back to this, Aerrol Smith, it was Aerrol Smith we were on, wasn't it?
Yes.
I could have swore it was.
Tool. Well, White Monkey was talking about Tool. Did
Yeah.
you move on from that?
Yeah, I just said if he gives the name of the album I was describing, let me know.
Okay, he
Yeah.
said, let's see, uh, Fear Inoculum.
The second one, what's that called?
Lateralis.
I'm off the page already. I'll check it out in the notes, White Monkey, because I loved them. There's no excuse for me to have quit collecting their albums. Like I said,
Dude says Lateralis.
that's it.
Lateralis.
That's the one. Thank you.
Wild, yeah.
Yeah, that's the one. Loved it. Love that album.
Oh yeah.
And you can remember me playing that. I'd have that cranked into my stereo big old honking speakers back in the day before we all got all digital. And my daughter, who is now 25 years old, right, at the time was, good Lord, she might have been kindergarten time when that album came out, something like that. Maybe even still preschool. And bouncing all up, climbing over me, stealing my nachos, and that album going on. Lots of great memories of that, man. You can just play that thing, even in the background, man, and it cranked you. It created a mood. I really loved it. So anyway, Townsend hasn't done anything in a ton of time. Aerosmith hasn't done anything in a ton of time. Uh, ZZ Top. Now, again, I haven't been following anything new with ZZ Top ever since their bass player Dusty died, or not Dusty. It's not going to come to me. Anyway, I've kind of lost interest in the band if they put out anything since this list came out. But at the time, and this is the time when they still had the original members, La Futura was the last album they did, and that was 2012. And so that at that time was 12. So we're talking 14 years, if that holds true. And if not, it doesn't matter to me. ZZ Top is one of those bands defined by the three members. And to be out there as ZZ Top now, it would be, I kind of wormed my way through an explanation. I want to clarify what I said the other night. There are a lot of talk about Rush reuniting with a new drummer. Can't happen. Can't happen. All right. They're defined by Neil Peart. ZZ Top is identified by its three core members also. And so even if they have released new material, I'm not interested in it. ZZ Top is dead to me. All right. It would be like Paul McCartney and Ringo going on tour and calling themselves the Beatles with a John replacement and a George replacement. It wouldn't sell to me. Not in a second. I don't think it would sell to a lot of you. Of course, Peter Gabriel at this time, and it's not gotten any better for him, I'm sure. Peter Gabriel, New Blood was his last album, 2011. That was right after he was doing all that Tarzan stuff. I think this is the Peter out period. I liked Tarzan. I liked his music in Tarzan. I really did. I don't know why. My daughter had the movie, so we watched it constantly when it came out. And after you've watched the damn thing for over 20 times, it's the music that keeps you coming back. You're no longer following the plot. You're just kind of digging with Peter Gabriel there in the background. But it was 13 years for him. You add a couple more 15 years, but he's done. I think with all the news items, him in the hospital, rumors that Paul McCartney was there to see him. Who else were they saying? and that turned out not to be true. A lot of scuttlebutt. That's why I won't cover a new story the second it comes out, because then you find out that wasn't true. I got caught a couple of times like that and didn't want to cover that. So I wait, and then I look at the story, and I try to perform uh, uh, either a video or a stream that tackles it a bit differently, right? In a different way, a different angle on the uh, on the whole story. Often, if you give a story time to breathe, you'll find that wow, there's another story that links to that might even be more interesting to follow. Kiss released Monster. Uh, but Kiss, oh, good Lord. Oh, Lord. Okay. 2012. Yeah, right. That wasn't Kiss. But even this Kiss isn't doing it, hasn't done anything. Now, you would think, Michael, Kiss retired. No, they haven't. They're going to do this residency thing without the makeup. I think they're resenting their decision to sell the image uh, because they want to make this happen and somehow it be Kiss without it really being Kiss. And of course, they sold their image to an Avatar show. I've lost all respect for Kiss at this point. Too many times that Paul Stanley uh, was lip syncing for me to forgive. Uh, Not putting out new music, making promises. You know what I feel about farewell tours that are always uh, extended and extended. There's 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 no balls behind this band. They're in it for the money, right? And that's all there is. Surprise, surprise, Gene Simmons being in the band, that would be true. But at the time, it was 12 years plus. Yeah, add 14 years for that. Billy Joel, River of Dreams. Yeah, what happened to him? I collected Billy Joel. Now, I'm not a big fan of Piano Man like so many of you are. I connected with Billy Joel during The Stranger. All right, so I'm not one of those. Oh yeah, I knew about him during Piano Man. So I went back and I got the album with Piano Man and started collecting him forward right through Field of Dreams. Had them all. A big, like I said, I love good pop music. I love good singer songwriters, and Billy Joel is top freaking notch as a writer and singer, and I liked his sound, you know. And so you had River of Dreams, and then all of a sudden he was gone. And you heard rumors, you heard that he was no longer interested. Oh, first, wasn't it he was going to write serious music, orchestra music, or something like that? And of course, and then he's just, been sitting on his fat ass in New York City for the longest time, tried to tour, and that didn't work out. Of course, now he has a brain condition that affects his balance, and did he say his hearing as well? And so he's got to be careful. And he's off. He is off the tour now, which is bad news for Stevie Nicks because as soon as that's being done, didn't she cancel some of her shows? See, Stevie Nicks by herself isn't even, she's not drawing what even Stevie Nicks by herself used to draw, right? And so she's left the sizzle every single year. And then there was this lovey dovey connection between her and, of all people, Lindsey Buckingham, when they decided to re release the Buckingham Nicks album, right? Uh, which is interesting in itself. But there's been a lot of behind the scenes with Mick Fleetwood wanting one more go at this. You kind of got to ask yourself. First of all, Fleetwood Mac, to me, is a band of incarnations. So the fact that they don't have a core member of the band uh, fully there, uh, it doesn't matter to me as much, except that now we're talking about Christine McVie, who was in so many different incarnations of that band. That to me, I don't know. I wouldn't go see him. I'm not interested. Not even with Buckingham. I thought about it, but no, I can't do that. Right? We have Steve Miller, "Let Your Hair Down" from 2011. Right? We've got David Lee Roth, Diamond Dave, from 2003. And you go to any rock news channel, go to any rock news, just type in rock news and go to any of those suggestions. And you're going to, I mean, from classic rock to heavy metal rock. I mean, he's all over the place, always in the news, always 2003, right? And that about did it for that list. Was it? Oh, no, Joe Walsh. Uh, Analog Man from 2012. So it's been well over 10 years for him. And was that the last one? No, your thingy is doing its thingy, darling. Don't know what to say. Yeah, Fleetwood Mac, "Say You Will." We've talked about that. I talked about how Stevie Nicks put the Nicks on that one, didn't she? Uh, what Lindsey Buckingham, their producer, had decided to do, that the band would produce a double album, despite the fact that Christine McVie wasn't there. They decided to go on. And what they produced was a good album, but certainly nothing that rose to the level of their heyday, right? And part of the problem was probably that Stevie Nicks, or that, excuse me, Christine McVie wasn't there. Take a look at the Buckingham McVie album, the McVie Buckingham. I forget who gets billing what. Man, it sounds like a Fleetwood Mac album. It's better than "Say You Will," you know. So, and of course, uh, what he wanted was an album you'd listen to, and so a lot of stuff got cut off there. I'm wondering if he was right all along, and that that's the album we should have gotten. But she said it won't sell. See, she was all into making it sell as well as it could. Lindsay, she would say, Lindsay doesn't understand people. They're into their 30s and 40s now. They're not grabbing the album and laying in their room on a Saturday afternoon and going through the liner notes. And she's correct about that. But again, to me, if you're not producing music, and they did produce some, "Say You Will," but if you're not producing and being the artist, and approaching it from an artist perspective, like Lindsay wanted to do with that album, what did we miss, right? We've got Poison. Did Poison never followed the band in 2007? So it's been a tick since they've put out anything. So many of these bands still. The Black Crows, "Before the Flood," 2009. They're in and out all the time anyway. And was that it? No, there was one more. REO Speedwagon, "Not So Silent Night." Christmas with our oh God. Okay. Christmas album. And that was in 2009. All right. So and a lot of these, if you look at it, boy, your iPad's just flipping out all over the place, darling. It's like it's
Is it? Oh,
slapping me, right and left,
it's
man. I'm taking a beating here.
it's a haunted iPad.
It is a haunted iPad.
Yes,
I swear to God. It's like I don't know what demon is in control of this thing.
yeah.
Good Lord. Okay, did I get back to my spot here? Steve Miller Band, 2011. "Let Your Hair Down." You've got again David Lee Roth. We talked about that. Joe Walsh, "Analog Man," 2012. I think some of these, yeah, I covered already. Let me make sure. See, you have to go all the way back. Um, we talked about the Black Crows. REO Speedwagon, we were getting that a Christmas album. He's been in the news. Um, that he now knows. This is cool. Uh, Kevin Cronin now knows. Uh, Kevin Cronin has come out saying, for the first time in his life, he doesn't know what he's going to do next. Right? He goes on to say something like this: "Well, at the end of every tour, I knew what I was going to do. There were plans. There were plans, Spock. Uh, there were plans for the next tour being drawn up already, or time was being put away for an album to be recorded and hints of another tour in the future. And for the first time, I don't have any of that. Now, this comes on the heels of him missing the Get Back Together tour, our show that the band put on. And it also it also comes on the heels of the big vote. If you remember, two of the members outvoted him. He comes across saying, "I wanted to continue, but they wouldn't let me. I was outvoted." Like he's a victim, you know. Get a life, Jesus. And so, and other band members are coming out with current interviews saying that wasn't it. We voted to have our bass player in there or to return as soon as he could. It comes out that Kevin Cronin didn't think he looked good on stage. If that was a rule, half of these bands wouldn't show up. There's a lot of them hunched over, a whole lot of them performing from wheelchairs and stools. Okay, we've covered that, right? But really, the more this story comes out, this is Kevin Cronin. It's been a real eye opener. I had no problems with Kevin Cronin until the last year and a half. I almost went to go see him. They were playing here in Modesto, and I had my channel. It was second summer, I believe, that I had my channel going. Maybe it was the first one, but I almost went. It would have been just a drive, you know, just to tick down the road, and it was a very good price. But I looked at who was in the band, and I go, "It's Kevin Cronin," and so I decided not to go. That wasn't REL Speedwagon. Now I kind of wish I had gone just to hear the music live. Then it was so easy, but I just couldn't. It just bothered me. But it wasn't based on any criticism that I had of Kevin. It was based on the fact that the band wasn't the band that they were saying they were going to be, and there were plenty of tickets left, even at that show. And we're a modest-sized town. You know, we've got about 250,000 people here in our town, and so. And there were still tickets. I mean, that's why I could have gone at such a late date. But the more and more I hear from him, it's kind of like what I'm hearing from Roger Daltrey. Some of these guys just get their egos all twisted up in a knot, and it's got to be their way or the highway. And basically, what's coming out now is Kevin Cronin is really being outed for trying to pull off a power play and take control of the band, and they had had enough, right? They wanted him at that concert, but Cronin had a show to do that day, but something could have been done about that. It's his way or the highway every time. That's so. I'm not a real big Kevin Cronin fan. The Eagles, Long Road Out of Eden, 2007. All right, and what are they doing? They do endless sayonara, see you later, wouldn't want to be a kind of tours that never freaking end. They are the epitome of the never-ending farewell so long tour. It's the Eagles themselves, right? And there's only one eagle on stage, and he lip syncs, guys. The other one of the other eagles, who's not really an eagle, but most people consider him to be an eagle, is Joe Walsh. He was never asked to join the band. He just hangs. He's on contract, right? He hasn't put out anything in a ton of time, and all they do is one show after another, one residency after another, right? And he lip syncs on top of everything else. Uh, he's not even a rocker. anymore. Some of these folks are still rockers. They still sound good. They're just not putting out new music. With this phony baloney, he's not only just not putting out new music, he isn't putting out anything as far as a performance. He doesn't drum. He might for one or two songs. At least that's what they were doing when I last was seriously following them. I don't know what they're doing these days. Maybe he doesn't even get on the drums ever. I don't know. He's turned into a lead singer. The picture I'm looking at right now, he's doing this, standing up. No guitar in hand, not behind the drums, and just singing. Ba ba ba. Ooh. That's the kind of guy he's turned into. I've lost all respect for uh, Don Henley. Jimmy Page walking into Clarksville, 1998, and wow, not a good way to go out, Jimmy. Didn't like that album. I've got to give it a re-listen, but I bought it and just put it. I bought, back in these days, I was buying CDs. Just put it back in the case, and it became one of 1,200 CDs. Uh, Certainly a good 300 of them in my collection I never played ever. And I listened to I tried to like it. I really did. I tried to like that album, and it's horrible. And yet we see his compadre put album after album after album. Of course, I'm talking about Robert Plant. He's got a brand new one. I will get that one. I still have to get the other one he just did, uh, as far as on vinyl, right? But of course, I'm going to get them, right? And it's called Saving Graces, all right? And the first song is our Everybody's Song, Everyone's Song. I think it's Everybody's Song, and it's wonderful, And Robert Plant just recently said uh, in an interview, he answered why he doesn't do the big Led Zeppelin hits, right? The reason he doesn't do that is he says because some of the greatest stuff Led Zeppelin ever did wasn't the hits. That's why he wants to take the lesser ones. And he even mentioned, I mean, come on, Achilles' Last Stand. He agrees with me. I love that album. So many of you don't care for it, right? But even those of you who don't care for the album, a whole lot of you still like Achilles' Last Stand. He'd rather do a version of Achilles' Last Stand than Stairway to Heaven. He says, it's not that I don't like Stairway. Everybody makes a big deal about me not liking Stairway to Heaven. He says, it's not that I don't like Stairway to Heaven uh, or anything. And there is truth that I don't think he cares for the song, but he's kind of dismissing the idea that he doesn't care for the song. He goes, it's the idea. And I didn't know what he was talking about, but then he goes on and he explains that he wants to cover songs and do different versions of songs that don't get as much mention by Led Zeppelin. That's why he tries to avoid it. And Jimmy Page, yeah, it's amazing he can come out roaring for their comeback, and then he just crawls back. I don't. Good Lord. Yeah.
Oh my goodness, hon.
What's that, baby?
Corn Cob just sent a member for Tribal Chieftainship.
Oh my goodness.
For 15 months.
Oh.
Oh, thank you so much, Storm Cobb.
Oh, you know what I think, baby? On these, correct me if I'm wrong, Storm Cop. I'm trying to get back over to you. Her.
Oh, I know.
Okay, iPad's totally freezing up. This may be just a membership memo because he is a member. Let me double check here. My God, it's just blanking out on me. Good Lord. Okay, so Tribal Chief, have you heard about the Kennedy Center is honoring KISS, the four original members? No, I haven't. Uh, Say it will take place in December along with George Strait, Sylvester Stallone, and Gloria Gaynor. Oh, ooh. Wow. I haven't heard from Gloria Gaynor in a decade or four, right? Yeah. Yeah, it's been a while. Wow, thank you. And I think this is a message that you can send if you're a member, babe. So when you see these, that's what that's all about.
Oh,
Am I wrong, Storm Cup? Because I think we occasionally get that. It's a way of, it's one of the perks, right? And I always read those because they're financially supporting the channel just like the super thanks. They,
yeah.
it's like the easiest way to support the channel is join the membership. You become a tribal elder, right? And it's $5 a month. I got, oh God, well over 100 videos over there. Well over 100 videos you're not seeing on this side. Even some containing some music I've written. Very
Oh
archaic
my goodness.
equipment,
Storm
I
Cup
might add.
just came in with another
Oh, good
super
Lord.
thanks.
James, thank you
Oh,
so
thank
much.
you so
A
much,
$5
James.
super thanks. He says,
He's
you
always so
are right.
wonderful. Oh,
On what? I've covered so much tonight, James. Oh, Lord. Uh,
oh.
but you know what? Let's assume that I was just right all night. Hey, $5 gives me the right to think that for half a minute. Uh, but
Oh.
no, I'm going to be basing a whole lot of. We'll still do channel. You know, um, we'll still be doing streams that contain, like, I'll compare albums one night, or we'll talk about a band one night in a very legacy kind of oriented fashion, much like we do over at Royce's, much like I've done on my channel dozens of times. But every once in a while, we're going to take from the Unholy 10 of the 21st century classic rock Unholy 10 and discuss it because it's hurting rock and roll, folks. I mean, that is plain and freaking simple. It's hurting rock and roll. And nobody, see, right now, right this second, we should have a dozen bands out there contending for the number one position. We should have a dozen bands that could fill an arena. New bands. I'm not talking about Motley Crap, okay, or Foreigner, you know, uh, or the Eagles, or I mean the Eagle, okay. I'm talking about bands like Dirty Honey, who I follow, Rival Sons, who I follow, Dorothy, who I follow, and less so these days. Yeah, however, I'll still include them. There's still hope
Oh
for them,
my
Mildred.
goodness, hon.
Ah,
Royce is in the house just
you
here with a
dirty
super
dog, you
thanks.
double done did
Oh,
me.
Royce, that is so sweet. Thank you so
Be right
much,
with you,
Royce.
brother.
Oh, Royce is a brother channel.
Well, you know what? You and I sent him a super thanks, and
Yeah.
he's just spitting it back right at my face.
Oh, he's such he's so sweet.
I'll give you a thumbs up, brother. Just $10. He didn't say anything. Oh,
I
yeah.
know it's just a super thanks.
You
Thank
didn't
you,
have to do
Royce.
that. Oh my goodness. And Dan matches him dollar
Oh
for
my
dollar.
goodness
Isn't that
sakes.
wonderful?
Oh,
And
super
nothing. Just
thanks.
just there supporting. By the way, both these guys, I support their channels 100%. Uh, they're both brother channels to this channel. All right. Uh, they're connected to the tribe. They're both tribal uh, members and elders. They're both supporters of this
Oh,
channel. I support their channels. And Royce, I'm not sure what he's going to be talking
oh,
about
just
this
a
week.
fax, man. So sweet. Thank you so much.
She just saw it,
Oh
Dan.
no, I was replying to Royce.
Oh yeah, she was
So
replying to Royce, and now she's
yeah,
going, "Oh, thank you."
I,
You know, uh,
that is so sweet.
yeah, double slam there, huh,
Thank
baby?
you.
Wow. You
Wonderful.
guys are awesome. Both of you are awesome. You know what I think of you. And you know what? I plan to be on Royce's this week.
Dan,
Uh,
Dan says he's going to go to England and do a mini documentary on Ozzy.
oh my God.
He's planning a trip.
Oh my God. Yeah, I'll support the hell out of that, Dan. And we'll make sure we'll get you some viewers for that when that
Yeah,
comes out. Oh God, yeah. Oh wow. Now that Dan's always thinking, you know, he's always thinking of the next move, you know.
that's great.
You know, he does the
That
rope a
sounds
dope and then
cool.
right? Yeah, that's Dan. And so anyway, God, it's been like 3 weeks since I've been on Royce. I think 4 streams since I've been on Royce, but I'm planning to be there. I couldn't go up there because I was trying to fix my computer. when I couldn't make my own stream, brother. So, and then I got it real late, and I finally joined you in the chat and supported you that way. But Royce in the House is the name. Just the Facts Man is the other name. Dan McNew is from Just the Facts Man. Please, sub these folks out, right? They are tribal. And of course, Royce Eddings from Royce in the House. All right. And so Royce is like the the twin brother channel of this channel. Royce and I have been, streaming over on his show. I mean, he's doing the streaming. I'm just a guest host for, we're well into our fourth year now. We've been doing it for over 4 years. And before I ever came on, Dan was doing it with him. So Dan goes back even further than me. So any support you could throw these two, I certainly would appreciate it. Let me make sure that I covered this final list here. Of course, it's going to blank out on me and everything. I just want to make sure I got through everybody that I was talking about. Not we don't want to let one of them escape through the, you know, okay, we talked about the, yeah, we got him. All right, good, good. And yeah, okay, and their final one was Foreigner. Uh, was that the final one? I do believe. Or no, they talk about Foreigner. It was 2009. Can't Slow Down, if you can call that an album. Guns N' Roses, Chinese Democracy, 2008, if you can call that an album. Let's see who else. Steve Winwood, Nine Lives, 2008. Is Steve still touring and stuff like that? I don't know. I don't know if that, maybe he was at that time. I just haven't heard. I was more interested in Steve with Traffic than anything else, really, to be honest with you. That was the connection, especially, God, one of my favorite albums of all time in rock and roll, one of those perfect albums, Low Spark of the High Heel Boys. All right. Great album cover, everything wonderful. Oh, yeah. Okay. And then they ended it with Leonard Skinner. Gary Rosington, the last Skinner to be alive, passed away, and yet they found, uh, you know, some way to get up there and still keep touring with Little Brother at the helm, and a long time guitar player, not original Skinner,
Oh, it's
just a long time player.
already.
What's that, baby?
6:19 already.
Oh boy, we've gone way over what we were thinking,
I
huh?
didn't realize.
Ah. Yeah. Okay. Well, let me. I just want to see who's in and give you a shout out for being in. Of course, Royce in the house. Bronze Snake. We talked a little bit before. Hope you were satisfied, Bronze Snake. Jorge Pita. Hey, hey, brother. Clark and T. Finch. First time I've seen you. It's good to see new blood here. Uh, and a lot of people have been watching this for a while, and they finally go, well, I'll step my toes into that pond a little bit. Got crisis actor John Siri, the reboot of Jefferson Starship. Not bad. Good seeing those fellas. These hot tuna weirdos. I love it. Who else? We've got Dr. Rick in there. He says, Royce, any idea about Sunday stream? Yeah, Royce, any idea about Sunday stream? Let me know. Let me know. Stephen Fox. Oh, yeah, Gary Richrath was a great guitarist, and their sound changed after him being gone. He was. They matter of fact, I saw another content creator saying that that's what they need to do is get another Gary in there and quit all this squabbling. And if there's any touring left for any salvation for REO at all, it's going to be through that kind of handling of the band. And I agree with him on that. Caitlin, it's so good to see you. I was over on Caitlin's stream, another tribal member who streams. You guys got to get over there. I know some of you were over there today, right? So tribal members are going over to Caitlin's stream. Why? Well, you've got to get over there. You got to experience these things, right? So it's good to see you, Caitlin. I appreciate it. And she's one of two streams that I actually make comments in. If I'm not on Royce, I'll make comments there, and I also make comments on Caitlin's stream too. She's like family. To me, she's just like family. We kid with each other, we pick on each other, you know, and sometimes when it gets too what would you call it, road ragey between me and her, I just say bye bye bye. Gotcha, Caitlin. Hey, she got me today on her stream, so all's fair in love and war, Caitlin. All right. Uh, let's see. So many of you, man. Good Lord. Okay, I may have gotten a whole lot of you. Oh, John C's in. Says, what about Peter Frampton? Yeah, good one. He wasn't listed in this article. The thing with Peter Frampton that I find disturbing is he was done. Last year, he's finishing up his last final tour. He talked about how he had to sit down because of his condition. He has a medical condition, and that he even had to learn what he called I don't know what it entails, but a one finger trick that helps him complete at least the basic notes in his solos, which isn't really him being a guitar not aficionado, but a guitar master anymore, right? He's given us a skeletal performance, and that was going to be it. And, I would have gone to see him. Tickets weren't too bad at that time, just to say I saw him. I wouldn't have thought, oh, I saw him in his prime by any stretch of the imagination, but he's a mega star. I collected Peter Gabriel, but way before the live album that everybody discovered him. I loved him, and I love his whole history and everything. Then they inaugurated him, they inducted him into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and that's what that can do for an artist. He can bump his tickets up better, or he can at least guarantee a fuller seated audience. And he extended it based on that. And he's not in good shape.
Oh my goodness. Deuce came in again.
Oh, did he?
Yes, he did.
My goodness, Deuce, with a $2 super thing. Wow. Yeah. Let me see this. He says, Deuce is wild. A $2 super thanks. The power of two. He says, let's not forget Edgar Winter. Power of. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Edgar Winter, magnificent, magnificent. I'm a fan of both. Probably more of Johnny than Edgar, right? Being a guitar player, and I think Johnny Winter is a guitarist that's lost a lot of stature. And I think a lot of the flamboyant Eddie Van Halen style type of guitarists coming out in the 80s kind of uh, did a disservice to a lot of guitarists. Yeah, now you're finding them, the top 500 guitarists, and you find Edgar Winter, or Edgar Winter. He'd be keyboards, wouldn't he? But Johnny Winter down at 211. And you're going, Jesus, he was always in the top five back when I was, you know, a teenager, certainly in the top 10 and very close to the top five out of that top 10. Been totally, disrespected ever since. Flash, dash, and no cash. A lot of these guitarists have great ability, but there's no soul in a lot of their approaches. Eddie Van Halen, I have tons of respect for. Love him. He played with a little bit of soul. All right. It's the other ones that came in after him, the automatons. Oh, God.
Hey, hun.
Yeah.
Can I give you a comment from Jorge Peter?
Yeah.
He says, great band from the 70s, 10cc.
10cc.
Oh, yeah, I love 10cc.
Oh, God. I'm a major fan. It. Yeah, yeah.
You're right, Jorge.
Yeah. Oh, God. Just the Facts Man came in with the $2.
Goodness. Just the Facts Man again.
Power of two. Thank you, Dan. I'm matching Deuce's wild power of two. That's what he says.
Oh, my goodness.
Isn't that something?
Dan.
Yeah. Now, who were we discussing, Jorge? Because I wanted to spend a little time on that. Who did he mention?
10cc.
10cc. Yeah. Right. And I'm trying to remember the guy that teamed up with Paul McCartney. He kind of the guy of 10cc. When I heard "I'm Not in Love," I thought it was I thought that was McCartney and Wings. I turned on the radio and it was playing.
Yep.
You know, so there was no DJ that introduced it. It was early in the song, and I went, Jesus, that's Paul McCartney and Wings. Wow, what a great song! I'm Not in Love. Right. That's what I thought. That was my first. For some reason, the Little River Band, reminiscing, did the same thing to me. It's like, okay, that's kind of Paul getting kind of jazzy pop. I could see him going, and that nice clear voice. I go, is that Paul? By the end of the song, I figured, no, that's not Paul. But boy, damn, you know,
Oh my
that was
goodness,
great.
Rockin' Robin Bird.
Oh, Rockin' Robin Bird is in with $1.49.
Oh,
Thank you so much,
Rockin'
Robin.
Bird, you're
You know,
wonderful.
the power of 1.5.
Oh.
I love it. That's the power of 1.5, baby.
Yes,
right
it
there.
is. Oh.
Yeah, we'll
Woohoo.
take that
Thank you so
anytime. You know that, Rockin'. Oh, you're so wonderful. Rockin' has been supporting not only Royce's channel, but over on Caitlin's channel and Sir James' channel. She's getting around. She's getting around. I love that. I'd like to think you came from us, Rockin' Robin. You've been
Yes.
around a while, and it's nice to see, you know, intertribal members getting out to some of these channels that I mentioned because sometimes I'm there. I'm always pretty much for the last couple of months. I think I've hit all but maybe one of Caitlin's streams. I was actually filming on a day that she was streaming, and but if she's there, she's in my notifications. I always said hit that remind me, right? So it comes to my home feed, uh, and I'm there. I'm sometimes in the audience over at Sir James's as well. Oh my goodness, Royce! He says I'm matching Dan and Deuce's.
So funny,
Oh, dude.
Thank you.
Oh, and Natalie's in. Natalie Angelo, it's so good to see you
Right
with a
after.
$5 super thanks.
Natalie,
You guys
so
rock.
much.
You
Yes,
guys are awesome.
are wonderful.
Now, I do want to bring this out. Before we sign off for tonight and everything, people may be thinking, "What is this?" With the super thanks stuff. Yeah, 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 yeah. Before you go there, no. Um, No, this is. I have said. I starting at January 18th. I started streaming. Okay, and I mentioned at that time that this was like a season 4 uh, uh, feature that the channel hasn't had. Every year, I go ahead and I add that. And ever since I've been streaming, so many of you find that a great time to go ahead and support the channel in a financial way. Now, what does that mean? Where does this money go for? Right now, we're trying to develop to invest.
Dr. Rick just came
He
in.
did.
Oh, thank you so
I
much,
swear.
Dr. Rick. That's so sweet.
Thank you so much. Oh, there it is. I saw it. Power of two.
Yeah, he's
okay.
Put his two in too. Oh,
Yeah.
that's so sweet, Dr.
Doc, we love you and hope everything is going well for you, right? We've all, we were talking about Tim of music, Tim Henry of Music Life. We've all gone through. We get to know each other here, folks, and we know that a lot of you knew at a time in my life when Kimberly was in the hospital, right, with a very serious condition that she still has to treat these days, right?
Yeah.
And you guys were so supportive, and so
I love that.
yeah, and you touched something in Kimberly's heart.
Oh, yeah.
I would tell her, oh God, because I wasn't able to make new videos. I would do updates in between hospital visits. I was taking care of what was going on here at home and at my, it was a horrible time. You guys backed us up so much. And we always, when we know,
the tribe that rocks.
Right. I brought up in my last stream, Caitlin has had to deal with surgeries in the past and conditions regarding her mom, loss of pets, things like that. These are small little items that really tear us up. And sometimes it comes out in the tribal forum. And for those, James had a horrible time there for a while with tornadoes, not just one. And of course, Dr. Rick had just fairly recently stay in the hospital where he had to stabilize himself and everything. So we care for each other. And these folks are caring for us here on the channel by financially supporting us. And I said, so what does that mean? Uh, what I do is I invest this back into the studio that you see behind me. Right now, we're trying to invest into a miking system that'll put Kimberly more up front with me rather than just a voice in the background, right? And we looking into getting a platform that's affordable uh, on a monthly basis that I could actually, bring up some of your comments and everything else like that, just like the big channels, right? But so it all goes back. Matter of fact, to set up my YouTube channel, I still haven't paid for that initial investment. So uh, that's what it all goes into is supporting the continuation of channel. Sometimes it goes in, I have lights. Well, my situation is I have to light myself uh, with lighting that needs batteries, rechargeable batteries, right?
Rockin' Robin.
Oh, thank you, darling.
Again.
$5 super thanks. She says your channel helped me, Michael, when I had oh my God.
She's so sweet.
Oh, three bouts? Is that what you're saying? Or 3 months of pneumonia?
Yeah.
Oh, that's the first time we had heard about. Oh God, what a horrible thing to go through. Oh well, thank you. I'm glad. You know what you're saying is maybe some of the stuff you've seen over here helped you kind of get through that difficult period of time. I'm glad we helped you, Rock and Robin.
Oh yeah, Rock and
Right?
Robin. I know what.
But all of these donations, they go into batteries, then battery chargers that go dead, cables, right? Backup lighting systems, backup equipment that I would use. That's what I really got to get is a backup equipment uh, a backup iPad Pro would have been good to have the other night. I would have been able to stream on Sunday. I use the iPad Pro because it's got so much capabilities. I not only shoot my streams with it, often you'll see me using it to read an article in my regular videos. Right, that iPad Pro that you will see me in my videos is what I'm shooting through, and I got to use the front camera, so it's not in high def like I would like. So down the line, we want to shoot in a much higher def. So all of this is happening, and all of it's happening with your kind support. All right, folks.
Oh, everybody's so wonderful.
Oh, they are
this
absolutely.
Tribe is the best.
Yeah, I agree. Did somebody just say that?
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did. Well, if she says it, it's got to be true, folks.
No, it's great conversation.
Yeah.
It's great tribal bonding. It's everybody so supportive and prays for each other. It's just so loving. I love that.
I hope you all heard that. The thing is, I mentioned early in the stream, Kimberly she wasn't sick or anything like that. Just one of those low energy days. I get those.
Yeah.
I have to kind of myself to get me up here sometimes. But you guys have turned her into a bundle of energy. This is not the same woman sitting across from me an hour and a half ago, baby.
Energize me.
What's that?
They energized me.
They energized you, huh?
I learned so
Did you hear that?
much.
Yeah. And she learned so much from you guys. See, my wife isn't a rock expert, right?
Nope.
And
I'm just married to one.
Just married to one. For whatever expertise I have. But so you guys, she is absolutely amazed. First of all, she's amazed with the amount of knowledge I have. I don't know how you keep that crap in your brain. And then when she started doing this streaming with me, She was amazed. You got a lot of people out there that know as much as you. I go, oh, damn right I do. Right? I'm not the ultimate expert. I'm an expert texpert choking smokers a little bit about the Beatles, right? I got my expertise on bands like Led Zeppelin. Oh, I saw that. John C. Wow.
Yes, John.
I saw him earlier in the comments. Thank you, John. A $5 super thanks.
Thank you so
Like it
much.
right there.
Wonderful.
Love the show. Going to see Alice Cooper. Still great live. Yeah, that's what I'm hearing. I've been watching some stuff. Oh, God, I'm just hoping he comes to my area, and I'm hoping that he comes to my area and plays somewhere with the original band, John. That's the one I want. What do you guys think of the album? I'm reassessing it again because I'm listening to it on vinyl. I got through the first three sides. It's a double 45 album. And I'm still trying to kind of get my. First of all the songs are kick ass. All right. Yeah, you buy the album, you're going to like the album. It's worth playing. God, a great album. If you're doing housework, or you're out mowing the lawn and you open the window and crank up your stereo system. This is an album to do, right? Definitely an album like that. But I'm seeing how it feels, because I'm not 100. I'm just not into the 45 uh, LP thing, and I'm despite that, I went ahead and I ordered the Ozzy Osbourne in double clear uh, because of that. You get superior sound. Now, I like that. You do. A record playing at 45 speed is going to have a whole lot more information that'll be read in the grooves and presented. And you have the tape speed and vinyl speed always means a better quality of music. So there's that. But there's also the thing where you have to split two sides into four sides. And I grew up on that's the end of side one. Here's side two. And if there was a side three or four, or an A, B, C, D, it was all sides with at least 18 to 22 minutes of music on it. Right here, you're getting three songs and then four songs. Three songs and four songs is how I think it runs. But Alice Cooper, definitely. If you weren't here, John, at the beginning, I don't know how far back on this stream you go. If you weren't here at the beginning, you'll know that I covered the Alice Cooper albums, and I got Road. They're all over the place here. I got Road, and then I also got the latest one. Again, sorry for the backwards image, folks. But so this one is the one I'm reassessing. I got the limited edition yellow, translucent yellow version for that. And of course, I'll be sharing on the stream or in a video the Ozzy Osbourne Patient Number Nine. Another album I got just recently was a great copy, a new copy of Ram. I haven't even opened it yet. I haven't gotten a chance to get it. I had it for weeks now, but I did get Ram, and that is a future video because I think that's the best Paul McCartney album of all time, and I think it rivals Beatle albums. All right, that's how good I think it is. So all that is coming in the future. All right, folks, we managed to put in an hour and 40 minutes. I can't believe that. Uh, but thank you so much for showing up. I know we didn't have quite as big a crowd. Where were we? Did we hit 70? I think we hit
Yeah, I think
just,
we did.
did we? I think
Yeah.
we hit into the 70s at its prime, right? So that's good. I was afraid we might not have gotten as large an audience because, like I said, well, he canceled last week. What makes you think he's going to show up this time, right? And consistency is the key. And I hope to provide that for you as much as I can. And I'll always try to give you a heads up if there's any reason why I can't stream on Sunday evenings at 5 p.m. That's PST, right? Pacific Standard Time. And I always say this, adjust your local times accordingly, right? And then following that at 6:30, I'm usually up on Royce in the house, right? And we go from anywhere from about an hour and a half to 2 hours on his stream. And then on Wednesdays, I stream again at 5 p.m. PST. Adjust your logo. All right, I won't do that to you again. But so if somebody's monkeying around with your subscribership or your notification bars, and it's around 4:30, you might want to check to see if I'm streaming because odds are I will be. All right. You guys have been absolutely phenomenal tonight. I enjoyed it. I was a little low key getting into this myself, to admit, yeah, if I had to admit it. And I really appreciate your strong support, each and every one of you. All right. Again, I'm Michael Noland. This is the bottom line, but the bottom line, as I see it, anything I've said tonight is my opinion. Many of you disagree with me, and that's said in the comments. If you're seeing this stream later on as a replay and you don't agree with what I said, bring it up in the comments. I don't care. I don't mind. Be respectful. We try to treat each other with a little bit of class here, and disagree with me all you want, right? And I'll do my best to respond to you as much as I can with the way that we're doing this. Yeah, I'm finding I have less and less time to respond to comments, but I always put at least 2 hours into responding to the comments, and I try my best to get to the early ones. Unless I'm just so exhausted, then I make another attempt, maybe 10 to 12 hours later, to kind of catch up with some of you. All right. I'm a one man shop, except for during the tribal forum, we're a mom and pop shop. And that is the absolute extent of my crew. All right. It's me and Kiki D. That's it. Right, baby?
That's right, hon.
All right. Okay. So, like I said, Michael Nolan, the bottom line. By the way, if you haven't subbed to this thing they call the tribe, it's so damn easy. All you have to do is hit that subscribe to the tribe, tap that top bell icon, and you'll be notified of all my future videos and streams as well. Okay, tonight's been tribal number 60. My goodness, time is going by since January. We've been going for well over a half a year now on this, right?
Great.
I appreciate it. And on this stream, it's a little different. It's just me and Kiki D,
And the
right?
tribe.
And the tribe. It's just me sitting down with you folks, not on a panel like I've done over at Royce. And unlike another content creator who says that that's what they're doing, I've been doing it for quite a while, haven't I? All right, folks. I'll see you on my next stream. That's Sunday at 5 o'clock. And I'm putting together yet another tribal members video. I just put one out. If you haven't seen it, you might want to check that one out. And I sat on that one for 2 weeks, pretty close to 2 weeks before I put it out. And it just kept gnawing at me. So I went ahead and deal with it. I deal with things with the membership video sometimes that I don't deal with here on the channel. Okay? Plain and simple. You know, just me. All right, folks. Good night. I love y'all. I hope you're all healthy, wealthy, and wise, or at least as healthy and wealthy and wise as you can be. Planet Earth has gravity, and there are gravity days for all of us. Blessings to each and every one of you. I'll see you on my next stream. Night, folks.